Recently, the San Francisco Giants have been at the center of discussions about Kyle Tucker, one of the top hitters in the game, but the outcome of this trade didn't go as many had hoped. Let's take a look at what happened, how this fits into the team's plan, and what this could mean for the future of our franchise. When the Houston Astros decided to put Kyle Tucker on the market, it was natural for several teams in need of significant offensive upgrades to join the competition. However, the market was tough, and even with aggressive moves, the Giants couldn't close the deal. But why exactly couldn't the Bay Area team match the Cubs' offer? According to journalist Andrew Bagley, the new GM of the Giants, Buster Posey, and his team were making a very aggressive offer, even to the point of feeling somewhat uncomfortable with what they were willing to sacrifice to bring the 27-year-old outfielder to the West Coast. After all, acquiring a talent like Tucker, even if just for a one-year contract, always demands a considerable cost, and the price was high. The Cubs, in going after Tucker, decided to offer a strong combination of assets, including their top prospect, a starting third baseman, and a solid pitcher. However, what the Giants couldn't match was the total value of the proposal, especially due to the exclusion of a standout player from the negotiations. One name that generated speculation was Bryce Eldridge, the young first baseman who was selected as the 16th overall pick in the 2023 draft. Eldridge, who is considered one of the most promising prospects in the organization, has an impressive offensive potential, with a combination of power and presence at the plate. His performance up to AAA, where he posted a line of .292/.374/.516 with 23 home runs, clearly shows why he is a valuable asset for the Giants. Even with Tucker's potential to be a key piece in the lineup, the Giants chose not to include Eldridge in the negotiations. This reflects the franchise's careful approach to its future, especially when it comes to its brightest prospects. It's interesting to observe how the Giants, with their long-term philosophy, prefer not to further compromise the future of the franchise by keeping their key prospects instead of making an immediate sacrifice for a one-season player. After all, for a team with a talented and rising roster, the focus seems to be on building a winning team for the long run, rather than short-term acquisitions that might weaken the team's foundation. As a former player and now GM, Buster Posey brought a more strategic and conservative perspective to the negotiations. While the appeal of a high-level player like Tucker was strong, Posey's commitment to the team's base development and the valuing of prospects reflects a desire to build something more lasting, something that Giants fans know very well is essential for long-term success. And you, Giants fan, what do you think about the stance from the Giants? Was it a good decision to keep our key prospects like Eldridge out of the negotiations? Or would you prefer to see the team invest more heavily to bring in an immediate impact player? Share your opinion in the comments and discuss with other fans of Orange and Black. Let's debate. With the season approaching, the Giants continue to focus on improving their outlook. The team already has a solid base of young talents, and with Posey's leadership, the future looks promising. While the signing of Tucker wasn't finalized, the focus is on improving other areas of the roster, maintaining the core of key players, and continuing to look for new opportunities that align with the goal of continuous growth. So, Giants fans, get ready for an exciting year. The team is building to become a constant threat, and while we may be out of the specific deal, there's no doubt that the San Francisco Giants are always paying attention to what the future holds for us. Even though the desire to have Kyle Tucker in the lineup was strong, the Giants prefer to take a more cautious approach, preserving their best prospects and staying focused on sustainable growth. The future of the team is in good hands with Buster Posey leading the negotiations and, of course, with the unwavering support of all Giants fans. As always, the mission is clear: a strong team with an even brighter future. And while the Giants continue to search for global talents to further strengthen their team, the attempt to bring one of the most promising pitchers in international baseball to the Bay Area did not have the expected outcome. Roki Sasaki, the 23-year-old Japanese phenomenon, decided to move on, and San Francisco's offer was excluded from this competition. Let's understand what this means for the Giants and what the franchise still has ahead. The Giants went all in. GM Zach Manasian and the Giants team traveled to Los Angeles, where they met with Sasaki's representatives in the hope of convincing the pitcher to join the team's rotation. But unfortunately, Sasaki wasn't impressed enough to include the Giants in his final list of potential destinations. And with that, the dream of having this phenomenal talent in San Francisco went down the drain. The competition was fierce, with teams like the Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Diego Padres in the mix. Even knowing the chances were slim, the Giants couldn't pass up the opportunity to try and recruit Sasaki, a player who has been wowing the world with his ability to throw the ball with incredible velocity and potential to be a global star. Sasaki is one of the biggest stars in Japanese baseball and an international free agent under 25, meaning he would have a minor league contract, allowing the team that signed him to retain his rights for up to 6 seasons. This type of contract would be a steal for any team that managed to close the deal, making the competition even more thrilling. The Giants knew they were underdogs to land Sasaki. Historically, the franchise hasn't had much success in securing top Japanese stars, despite having a rich history in Japan, with the first Japanese player in MLB, Masanori Murakami, and being the only team to have a full-time quality control coach in the major leagues from Japan. Still, Sasaki's value was simply too great for the Giants not to try. And baseball president Buster Posey didn't hide his excitement at the possibility of adding this young talent. "It would be a dream for us to have this guy," Posey said. Although the negotiation with Sasaki ended, its impact on the Giants is significant. The team keeps its $5.15 million in international signing funds, which will be available when the bonus pool is updated next Wednesday. These funds can be used in future negotiations, and the Giants are keeping an eye on other international talents. In fact, the Giants already have agreements in place with 3 of the top 30 international players, including Dominican shortstop Jair de Jesus Gonzalez, who is seen as one of the top 5 talents in this year's class. While Sasaki was a top priority, the Giants are still well-positioned to reinforce their roster with other promising young players. Now, the big question is, how does this affect the rivalry in the NL West? With Sasaki likely going to the Dodgers, the Giants will have to face him as an opponent. His presence in the Dodgers rotation only increases the intensity of the division battles, and facing him promises to be a huge challenge for the team. On the other hand, the Giants need to stay focused on what they can control, such as their international acquisitions and building a solid team for the future. Although the loss of Sasaki is a disappointment, the Giants still have plenty of resources and a clear vision for assembling a competitive team in the coming years. Even without Sasaki, the Giants continue to be one of the most focused franchises on long-term strategies and talent development. The search for international reinforcements doesn't end here, and the hope is that these young talents will help the franchise reach new levels of success. The offseason still holds many opportunities, and the Giants should continue seeking out talents that can contribute to the team's success. I believe that, in the end, what truly matters to San Francisco Giants fans is the team's commitment to the future. While losing Roki Sasaki was a big disappointment, it's important to remember that, often, a team's big decisions aren't based on just one name, but on the bigger picture of building. The Giants have already shown that they have a clear strategy focused on the long term, and that's something we as fans should support. The franchise is not just after stars, but is also investing in promising young talents who, in time, could become the backbone of a championship team. What I see is a team that is more focused on building something lasting, and in such a competitive division, this kind of thinking might be exactly what the team needs to get back to the top. Maybe the Giants didn't land Sasaki, but they remain focused on the future, and in the long run, that could be even more rewarding for all of us. I want to know what you think. What are your thoughts on the Giants' strategy of investing in young talents, instead of going for immediate impact signings? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you stay updated on everything about the San Francisco Giants and the latest MLB news. Let's talk more about the future of our team. I'd really love to hear what you think.